What up? What up? What up, people? Welcome to Wholesale Hardknocks, episode 59. It's your boy Daryl. I got my brother with me, the Mike Gomes. Mike,
Yep.
what it do, big dog?
What's good, bro?
Just crushing it, bro. Another day of crushing it. How's your week going, bro?
Dude, I've been in bed since this time yesterday. Literally
Damn,
8 o'clock. Actually, even before that, I've literally been in bed for like 26 hours.
damn.
I'm gonna show you something really quick. You have your Whoop band, right?
Yeah,
And your Whoop band tracks everything. It tracks like your heartbeat, it tracks your calories, it tracks all this stuff, but it also tells you when you're sick.
yeah.
Look at this. Whenever you see red, that means you're not doing good.
Damn, that's your recovery time?
Recovery percentage was 5%.
Shit.
But then it tracks all the different things. It tracks like your respiratory rate, your skin temperature, your heart rate, all this type of stuff. And all that stuff is either elevated or low. Meaning, then so you look at all the different categories right there. When you click on one, it says what the heck is going on, and it pretty much tells you that you're sick. I know you guys probably can't see that, but it says you're sick.
Damn, bro.
But
Hope you feel better, dog.
yeah, dude. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better. I needed to get up. I needed to start doing some things around the house. Walked around. Had to get on Wholesale Hardknocks.
Facts.
We're getting
That's
better.
just a testament to the consistency, dog. My guy pulled himself out of his deathbed, come out here and provide some value on Wholesale Hard Knocks, baby.
You already no. Wholesale Hardknocks is providing value to me today. Wholesale Hardknocks pulled me out of bed and got me out because if it wasn't for Wholesale Hardknocks, I'd still be in bed. And I needed to get up. I needed to like get moving, take a shower, brush my teeth, do all the things. Dude, this morning, because my wife is sick too. We were out of town last weekend, and I think we got sick and we went out of town. So she's sick too. So this morning she's like, "Yo, we got to go to the store." And I'm still laying in bed like, I can go to the store, yo. This is what she told me. So I'm literally sitting there like half awake, not knowing what the heck is going on. And she's like, "Yo, babe, one of us has to go to the store." And I'm not really comprehending what's going on. And then she says this one line. She's like, "Well, let's think about this. What if we had kids right now? One of us would have to get up." And I was like, "Damn, you're right. Let me get my ass up."
Damn.
So I crawled over to CVS. But yeah, dude. Whenever this stuff happens, I really don't get sick like much. I get sick. The last time I was sick was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I like never get sick. But when I do, I'm a little baby and I be in the bed. But I got my tea with me. We're rocking and rolling with the tea. I got some super herbs in here, some echinacea, some ginger, some Theraflu. So if I fall asleep on this podcast, don't mind me.
This man, I never even heard of no echinacea. What the heck is that?
Oh, bro,
Echinacea.
that's a cheat code, bro.
I love it. I love it.
How's your week going, dude?
Bro, it's been really good. We've had a lot going on. We got we got like 8 deals locked up this week so far.
8 deals. It's freaking Wednesday, bro.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Some of them probably aren't deals. Some of them we probably need to go back and renegotiate on. But I was telling you, we recently hired a bunch of people, and it's crazy how things are starting to work out. One of my mentors, and I was telling you this, Mike. He's telling us like, "Yo, your issue is you have all the systems set up, you have all the processes in place, but you don't have the right people, and you keep trying to hire 2 to 3 people at a time, one person at a time, and you're expecting that person to be good. When in reality, it's a numbers game, just like the business, just like the wholesale business. He's like, you got to go through 10 people to get 2 good ones, and that's what we've been witnessing, right? So we started off, we started off with an application, right? We had everybody fill out an application, new hire questionnaire, and from that we took the applicants based on their question, based on their answers to the question. We invited everybody who looked good to a Zoom, right? To a Zoom where we have a presentation.
What does look good mean? They look good. They weren't that ugly.
Yeah, pretty much. So they had what's going on, Brenda? they have really it was full availability. If you had full availability and you said that you have full availability, we invited you to the next round.
Dude, that's big, bro. That's big. I have a somebody working with me right now, and he's just he'll do calls maybe for like 2 or 3 hours after his day job, and it's just like he's really, really good. That's why I'm like, it's hard, but dude, it's just like as far as like his talent wise, he actually works a sales job right now.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's going to be hard for him to like actually gain traction. It's like, dude, you could stink at sales, but if you're in our system calling for 8 hours during the day and the other person's only calling for 2 hours a day, the person calling 8 hours is going to win
all day. Bro, you're no good as a salesperson. If you have all the talent in the world and you're not making the calls, you're useless to me.
Dude, even me. Because one of my main acquisitions people is out of the country for the next like 2 weeks. He's been away for the past week or so. And I've had to hop on a couple calls since then. Dude, I am not a good salesperson because I don't have enough time to follow up.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Close is a wrap.
It's legit. Like if I don't get that close on the first call, and dude, the best salespeople in the world don't get the close on the first call. This just is what it is. Like that's in any industry. You got to follow up. That's the thing.
I locked up a 1 call close on a sub 2 deal today, bro.
I love that.
A little pumped after that, but
you're like, I still got it.
Facts.
It's one thing that's been cool about being sick is I told you one of my acquisition managers, my main one, is away, and we have another one on the team who is fairly new, and it's forcing him. Like we had a super hot lead coming to the system today, and I'm like, bro, I'm not doing anything. I'm not sending the contract for you. I'm not talking to the seller. Figure it out. Like I can't. I'm on my deathbed. So he had to go on the fire and like do the whole thing, and that should be a deal that we end up getting tomorrow. So it's really cool. But dude, eight contracts in like 3 days. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, bro, and it's just a testament to exactly what we learned and right and what it means. So like just going back to the applicants, right? I made a post recently, and I told people like, look, we're hiring for this position, blah blah blah. Bro, within like 3 days, had 75 applicants, 75 people. Right from that 75, we cut off the first 20, 25 people who didn't have full time availability. That brought us down to like 50, right? So we invited 50 people to the PowerPoint presentation with, talking about our company, our values, everything like that. And out of that 50 people that we invited, 15 people showed up. Right? So boom, they cut themselves out.
They're getting weeded out.
Right. So now we have 15 people that we gave them homework. We said, hey, here's the homework. Go take a personality test, and we'll come back to you. Right. We'll set up a meeting for one-on-one. Right. They took their personality test. They submitted their homework. The people who actually submitted their homework got broken down into teams. So we have a direct to seller team and a creative team, and we have Dispo. And then once we found out, like the day they started, right, we had some people who were in there. We did the onboarding the first day, the training and all that good stuff. And some people, I guess we missed it in there, or they lied and told us something different in their application. But we had some people call me. 2 people called me the first day, and they're like, "Hey, I have a full-time job. I thought I could do this at the same time, but you guys are obviously serious, pretty much."
That's really good.
Yeah, and what we did was we had everybody sign an all-in discipline commitment. All-in commitment is what we call it, pretty much. So just having everybody commit to being all in for the next 18 months, right? For the next 18 months, you agree that you'll be all in to this company, to this business, and you give it everything you got. So it allows us now, when somebody's not all in and they're not doing what we ask them to, it allows us to just fire them with the ease, right? Because like we told them, like, hey, you signed an all-in commitment. You're not showing us that you're all in, and we're just not a good fit, So,
I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'll even send you the commitment.
100%, bro. Because that's one of the. Cool. Systems and processes are really cool in there. You need them, but at the end of the day, talent is what makes you the money. You could be the most disorganized person, but if you're just out there getting after it, you're gonna make money. So you need those people that are gonna be willing to get after it and hustle. That's your main thing. You could have the most disorganized CRM. Dude, I remember when we were operating in Podio before we switched over to RE Simply for our CRM. Podio, when you have a big team, bro, Podio is not the
Podio
way.
is trash.
It's the worst. But dude, it was interesting. We were doing more deals in Podio than we were in RE Simply in the beginning because of the people on our team. It was because of the talent, not the CRM. So it really is about the talent. Think about you, bro. You as the business owner when you were first just starting out, calling sellers, and you were the only one pulling data. You were the only one doing follow-up calls. You're the only one doing lead generation. You were super consistent in there getting it done. And in the beginning, you were not that good, but you were still getting contracts because you were just hungry.
For sure.
Now we're never gonna have the same exact drive from somebody like an employee or a team member that's gonna operate the business how we would want to operate it as the business owner, but you can get like 75-80%, and that's all you need.
Without a doubt. And if you have 5 people doing that,
That's much better than just you.
Yeah, without a doubt. So dope. Yo, Mike, what we doing today, bro?
We're gonna go off with another Q&A. So I have some questions in my DMs that we can answer. But first off, we want to take care of y'all, the people that are watching. Like people that are watching, whatever questions that y'all have, it could be anything about lead generation, anything about sales, anything about wholesaling, holding houses, fixing and flipping, doing all the things. Oh, we bought another house this week.
Let's go. Cool.
Yep, another one. This would be the most high price point flip that I've ever done.
How much is it? Walk us through the deal while we get some questions coming in.
We bought this deal for $560. We're gonna put somewhere between 80 and 100 into it and sell it for $850.
Damn. That's like a damn. Hold on. So 560. You're gonna put 80 grand into it. You're gonna sell it for how much?
$850.
It's a big flip, bro.
It is.
It's a big flip.
Now, here's the thing. When you get into these high price points, this is in Boston, so I'm not too worried about it. But right now, bro, like, let's look at this. I'm gonna pull this up really quick. Mortgage calculator. Like, dude, that's a hefty mortgage on an $850,000 house. Let's see. Dude, your payment is like over $6,000 for a property that's worth $850,000. Like that's kind of crazy. But we ran our comps. We're ready for it, and it's in a really, really good area. It's like here's Boston, and here's like the majority of where we do our deals. Like we call it the South Shore. Mm-hmm. This is where we've done all of our flips up to this point. But once you get like pretty much, let's just say Boston starts right here. Once you get up here, dude, the prices are bananas. Like it doesn't even make sense. Everything's over $800,000. It's like ridiculous.
What are the holding costs on a deal like that?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's gonna be over $5,000 a month.
Damn.
But here's the thing. We made sure that we had that taken care of. So today I literally got a check or a wire for like 25-something thousand bucks
to pay the holding costs.
Yeah, I raised enough money so that when we close on the property, I got paid. I do that every time. So for this guy, he's not really a hard money lender. He's more of a private lender, but he didn't want to come in with the whole entire thing. He only came in with 85%. So he came in with 85% of the purchase price. So that means in order for us to satisfy the loan, we have to come up with 15%, right? And then the lender who lent 85% is going to give us 100% of the rehab money. So the rehab is going to be we budgeted $100,000 for it to borrow from him. He's going to give us draws on a monthly basis of $25,000, right? And then our private lender came in with the 15%, right? So you follow me? We have 85% that we got from one lender. We also got the rehab funded completely from that same lender, but now there's still that 15%. So we need that 15% in order to satisfy the loan and close the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to a second private lender, and she gave us 15% of the purchase price to satisfy that, plus some. And that plus some gave us money for closing costs, gave us money for loan origination fees and all this type of stuff, plus money when we close, so that right when I close on the property, I get like $25,000 that I can now go use for holding costs and to get the renovation started. So literally, no, I actually got. I'm not going to say I got paid to buy this deal because that's not really what it was. It's a loan,
Mm-hmm.
right? But money went to my account. No money came out of my account, by the way. Like to buy the deal, money came in.
Right.
That's how you want to do your deal. So when you're raising private money, make sure that you're always raising more than you actually need. Not the worst case scenario, you're just paying back.
Makes sense. That makes sense. So you raise more money to buy the house so you can cover the payments so they're not coming out of your pocket. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Because
dope.
Daryl was like, damn, holding costs. Somebody might be asking right now, what the heck is holding costs? Holding costs is the money that I got to pay. Like that, all the money that we borrowed, we owe interest on every single month. So Daryl's like, damn, bro, that's going to be a lot of interest. You got a loan for like 600 something thousand bucks. Yeah, we do have a big interest payment every single month on that. But we make sure that we raise enough money in the beginning so that we can cover those payments so we're not coming out of pocket. And that's how we do deals with no money out of our pocket. So like
Right.
you may hear on YouTube and Instagram and all these influencers say, yeah, you can do deals with no money out of your pocket. And you might be like, that doesn't make any sense. They're bullshit and they're trying to get me to buy their course. No, you legit can do deals. You should be doing deals with no money out of your pocket.
Yeah, I've got paid to buy every house that I own too. So I 1,000% agree with that. 1,000%. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. So what questions do we have? Brenda asked a really good question here. Being that you started as a solopreneur, at what point did you decide to start doing things such as hire a VA to scale your business? So, Mike, I think we both started hiring and scaling at different times of our business. But I think we both have a very similar answer. Would you mind letting her know what you did and what you would recommend now?
Yeah. I was just teaching the blueprint students last week. We were doing hot seats with every single one of the students, and one of the students is in the position right now where he's about to start getting a VA to do all the like data. He's also going to hire another VA for a lead gen, and he's bringing another VA over to lead manager. He's just like bumping everybody up and adding more team members. And he was just like, hey, I just don't really know if I'm ready for this or not. Pretty much what I asked him is I was like, well, let's look at your schedule. What does your schedule look like on a daily basis? And as he started breaking that down, he realized that he's starting to get overwhelmed with follow-up calls. So I was like, once you get to the point where you feel like you cannot keep up with all the follow-up calls, that's a sign for you to go hire a lead manager.
Yeah.
So get up. So keep going. And because I didn't do this. I was like, yes, let's go take over the freaking world. Let's go scale quickly. I'm gonna get my Daryl in the first month. I got 3 virtual assistants. All were good generating me leads. I didn't even know anything about sales or nothing at that point. I was not ready for that. Right. Because I thought that was just the thing. I thought that I just needed more team members to make money. That wasn't the case. What helped me is once I realized that once I was too busy with follow-ups to manage everything else, that's the sign that told me, hey, I got to go bring in a lead manager to the team. Same thing with like lead gen. Once I was like, damn, I cannot be looking at data anymore. I'm too busy with my on-site appointments. I'm too busy with my my follow-ups or whatever the case is. That's when I was like, okay, now's the time to do that. So get to the point where you feel like you're being overwhelmed in whatever department that it is in the business, whether it's lead gen, whether it's lead follow-up, data, whatever it is. Once you feel like you're getting overwhelmed with it, that's the sign to offload it.
I agree with that 1,000%. You said something interesting, Mike. You're like, yeah, I hire people and I don't even know the first thing about sales. I don't know anything, right? And so many people start to hire people and onboard people, and they have no clue how to train these people or like what it takes to train these people and get them better at the job. So I highly recommend you wear the hat first and you understand how to train it, how to operate it, come up with a system that works, right? So when you bring other people on, you can say, hey, look, here's the keys to a new Ferrari. Use the instruction manual and close some deals, right? Rather than just having people just jump in, not knowing what the hell they're doing, and you don't know what the hell you're doing, and then it's just a giant shit show, right? So, one thing I also recommend as well, as you are going through this phase right now, where you're the solopreneur and you're looking to bring some people onto your team, um, have the end in mind, right? And know exactly what you want your team to look like. So even before I had a team, I had the seats in the individual seats for everybody already written out, right? So when it was just me, I already had my organizational chart set up to where I had my lead managers. I had 4 lead managers on my team, and it was just there. It said VA, right? I had 4 closers on my team, and they weren't there. It just said closer, right? I was wearing that position. I was wearing that hat, operating that position, and I had it all listed out already, and I knew which pieces that I had to replace myself from. Right. So as we start replacing people, I look at my org chart and I say, "Oh, I'm still cold calling. Well, I guess I should start with some cold callers and get some cold callers. Oh, I'm still doing the lead management. Okay, it's time to get some lead managers in here. Oh, I'm still doing the dispo. Okay, time to get a dispo team in here, right? And as you're doing this, as you're doing it yourself, as you're like working in the business yourself and wearing these different hats, it's crucial for you to document that whole process, right? If you need to comp a deal, right? If you need to comp a deal, and comping is a big part of your business. Record a Loom video of you comping a deal and have it ready. If you know your system, sometimes you may have trouble in your system doing this, or every single process in your system. Every time you move a lead or change a lead or do something, you should have a Loom video for that, right? It's so much easier now onboarding people onto my team and training them because I have videos and processes already ready for them, right? So when they have questions, I tell them, hey, there's a Loom for that, right? Go to the Loom vault, find the Loom for it, or I'll send them the link, right, real quick. And it takes out way more less of my time than me having to sit there and explain to people and do all this and all that. I can just drop them a Loom video, right? So start with the end in mind. Know exactly what your business, what you want it to look like, and even if you have no clue what it's supposed to look like, get with somebody who has a scaled business and look at what they do, and get an idea of it that way, right? And then get your org chart together and understand what positions you have to replace yourself in.
That's it, bro. Yeah, it's when you have that in mind, when you have every single hat in mind, even though it's you wearing the hat, there is one thing, obviously, when you're overwhelmed with whatever that hat is doing, that's when you know you need to replace yourself in that. But also, I would look at the things that I don't want to do. So like data and lead generation and stuff like that, that was the first thing that I outsourced because one, I was overwhelmed with it. I'm like, yo, I can't do this anymore. I'm not looking at the data anymore. I'm not skip tracing and doing all that stuff. I don't have time for it. That was the one thing. But also it was like, dude, I don't want to do that. Like, that's not for me. I want to go talk to sellers. I want to go lock up deals. So I spent my time and energy learning sales and building a sales department and stuff like that rather than worrying about the data. And I brought a partner in to worry about the data.
Sure.
Good question.
That's a great question. I love it. I love it. We're doing a Q&A today, guys. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the chat. Put them in the side chat.
I have this question right here in my DMs. I bought a course and I took action. Got a property under contract through an agent, but didn't run my numbers right, and I had to back out. Luckily, I got the deposit back. Agent said I could get sued if they pursued it. Da, 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 da. I don't seem to get the idea. Prop stream. Where's the question here? I don't seem to get the idea of prop stream. So this guy is just like kind of lost as far as what he's doing for lead generation. Locked up a deal with a realtor, didn't go forward. He ended up almost getting sued for EMD. He doesn't really understand how to use prop stream or getting leads or how to go about it. He just said, "Do you have any tips and tricks on how to get started in wholesaling real estate? I've attempted once and failed."
Can I answer that real quick?
Yeah.
You attempted once. That's your problem. You need to attempt more. You need to attempt way more, right? Like you're gonna fail in any business. And this business, the reason why me and Mike have no competition in this business is because people give up too easily. People quit way too easily. They quit way too early. And me and Mike, we're like, hey, we know that we got to get a whole bunch of no's to get some yeses, right? We already know this, and we're willing to get told no 1,000 times because we know that 1,000 first call, it could be a yes, and that yes can change your life forever. So we are extremely comfortable with failing, and shit, you only fail when you quit. So you saying that you tried one time, and I don't know, I may be taking that part out of context, but you saying that you tried one time is not nearly enough. It's not nearly enough.
Yeah. When I read that, let's see what I wrote back. I was explaining to him the difference between marketing and sales and stuff like that. But I think this is more important to address. Dude, when I first started out, it was December of 2020, I think. Yeah, December of 2020. I think that's when I started. Dude, I went 7 months with not gaining any traction, not doing any deals or anything like that. But I was relentless, bro. Even though I wasn't doing the right things, I was like doing a bunch of different stuff. I was doing direct to agent. I was trying to get on the radio. I was trying to do direct mail. I was trying to do cold call. Like I was trying to do literally any and everything. But I was relentless. I'm like, no. I am making this work. I do not care. Like I am going to make this happen. It's like non-negotiable. Dude, there were times I can remember, this is probably like 3 months in. Okay. It's about 3 months in. I just had a business before the wholesale business that just didn't really work out with another business partner. That same business partner started my wholesaling business with me, and he ended up saying, "Hey, bro, this isn't what I want to do," and he left. So I felt like I was super alone doing the wholesale business. Now, do I think that you need a partner or anything like that? I don't really think that. I think the partnerships definitely help. They're very hard. They're to manage. You got to have the right partner in place. We could do a whole entire thing on partnerships, but
probably should.
What I'm trying to get at is like in month 3, dude, I felt alone. Like I was like, dude, I've been trying this stuff for 3 months straight. By the way, this is just 3 months. This isn't trying once. This is 3 months every day. I wasn't doing anything else. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. All I was doing is trying to get deals done. And for 3 months straight, I finally, one night, I remember I literally get up from my bed, go to the bathroom, and get on my hands and knees, and I start crying. And I'm like, yo, do I just stink at business? Is this just not for me? By the way, I have a background in something else I'm not going to go into, but I felt like I was not meant to be an actual business owner. I was just a hustler in the streets or something like that. Right? Like I wasn't meant to be a professional. So literally 3 months into my wholesale business, I'm on the freaking floor in my bathroom crying, feeling like I was not worthy of being a professional and owning an actual business. Finally, same as that next day, I get up and I'm just like, you know what, Mike? Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get up, and just keep on trying. Just keep going. Just keep going. Around that same time, I had a mentor that was mentoring me. I asked him one question. I was kind of telling him what I was going through in that time, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna give you one piece of advice, and it's very candid, but don't give up. Whatever you do, just do not give up." And that's what I did. I just did not give up. That's it. Took me much longer. Even Pace told me one day. Pace was like, "Bro, you should have been getting deals done way before this, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know." But so it took me longer than most people, to be honest. But I just did whatever it took, bro. I was just like, whatever, I don't care. But there's ups, downs, there's peaks, there's valleys, there's all the things. You just gotta be willing to go through it and be relentless, non-negotiable with making it happen.
I think you almost have to make a choice in your head, that this is the only option, right? Because we're in a very similar situation, Mike, and we both were like, damn, like, are we making the right choice? Are we making the right decision in this and doing this business and giving this our everything? And I think with me it was just like, this is the path that we're choosing, and it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, people say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but that's all I know. Like, shit, we were both athletes. I know for me, it was like when somebody was asking me why was I in college, the answer was always football.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like, because I had no plan B. It was football was going to work, and if it didn't work, then we come up with another
Hey.
something else. Yeah, we figure something else out when that time comes. But right now, my plan A is my only plan right now. And if that doesn't work, then we'll figure it out. And that's what it was. It's like, we decide, okay, wholesaling is our route. And now every single day, and I think what really helped me at least was I had proof of concept pretty early. I did a couple deals early, and then I didn't do any other deals for like 6 months, 7 months. I was still super consistent, but it's just what happened. The wholesale gods, that's what they wanted me to learn some patience. You know what I mean? I was too hyped. I was too big headed, right? And I had to get humbled a little bit, because this business is not it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But I think once you make the choice and the decision that this is the avenue that you're going to take, this is what is going to happen. Like, regardless, it's either works or it works. That's the only choice that you have. Failure is not an option. You will be successful, and you have to make that decision and then put your everything into this. Like, and Mike, that's why I sent you that all in agreement so you can see what it looks like. But that's why we have our team signed it, because me and Toddy were talking about this. Like, we give our everything to this business. Like, wake up, eat, sleep, breathe is wholesale business. So why would we want people around us who don't feel the same way? Like, if you're not going to give this business your everything, why are we even talking?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I think that's for the guy who asked you that question. I think that's what he needs to realize, or he needs to ask himself this question: like, is this something worth giving your everything to? And if it is, then don't ever give up. Don't ever give up.
Yeah,
This is
don't give
really
up.
what you want to do.
What you can do is you could try a different strategy sometimes. Like, that's what I did. I was trying direct to agent. I was trying doing direct mail. I was trying to do a bunch of different things. Finally, I got a virtual assistant, and that was like the thing that started really working. So that's what I tripled down on. And now I have a whole team of VAs just doing the thing, cranking leads, following up,
Crushing.
crushing it. But dude, as far as making this business work one way or another, I was like, no, this is non-negotiable. I'm making it happen. I don't care,
Bro.
But it's very interesting, bro. It's like they talk about a bamboo tree, right? A bamboo tree is in the ground, is growing, and then all of a sudden, like, it grows for a while. I want to look this up.
Bamboo trees take very long to grow. Bamboo takes a very, very long time to grow.
How long does it take to grow a bamboo tree? Dang.
It's like 10 plus years, isn't it?
These shots emerge out of the ground and grow in height. Dude, so it's like 7 years.
How many?
5 to 7 years.
Crazy.
But then once it goes up like in the ground, it only takes like 60 days.
Hold on, what?
It takes like, so I'm seeing a couple different things, but it takes like 3 to 5 years, some saying 10, in order for it to pretty much get like grounded and for it to like get grounded in the soil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then once it goes out of the soil, it grows in 60 days. So
Damn.
nobody sees the things in the ground that's growing.
Damn.
Right? Like nobody sees what's happening in the soil.
Yeah.
That happens for 3 to 5 years or 10 years or whatever it is with bamboo. Then all of a sudden, the bamboo just starts growing wild and everybody sees it in freaking 60 days. That is really.
People are like, where all this bamboo come from? Motherfucker,
Legit.
she's been growing for 5 years.
Legit.
Working, bro.
You've been putting in that work.
Yo.
No, but really, like that's it. And to be honest, bro, once you start gaining some traction and your bamboo starts coming out the soil, this business becomes so much easier.
Bro, this is a game of momentum. It's a game of numbers and it's a game of momentum. Like that's one thing. So the first dude I worked for, only dude I ever worked for in this business, he gave me some really good advice when I first started, and I give it to my team all the time when they start seeing some success. And one thing he told me was exactly what I just said. Momentum is everything in this business. And once you have that little slither of momentum, it's time to double down, like floor that shit, put your foot on the pedal to the metal and double down on everything that you were just doing. Because it's so much harder. Once you lose that momentum, it's so much harder to build it back up than it is to just push that rock down the hill, you know?
For sure, bro. For sure. It's so interesting. Really, once you start doing multiple deals a month and you start to like really get confident, all of a sudden stuff just comes piling in. Now you start getting JV leads from everywhere. Your direct to seller business is working. Like now you're starting to do flips. All of a sudden everything is starting to come in. It's the craziest thing. But what people don't see is the 7 months that I was talking about of me like almost quitting. The month 3 of me on my bathroom floor freaking crying. Like that's what people don't see. That was like 3 years ago, right? 3.5 years ago or something like that. And to be honest, like we're still not even close to what is going to happen. So you will see me and Daryl, all of a sudden our bamboo trees start like, yeah, actually, dude, our bamboo trees aren't even out of the ground yet.
Heck no.
It's gonna be a couple more years, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like boom.
We're gonna have freaking.
What happened to Mike and Daryl? They blew up.
Yeah.
No. We were in the soil for 3 to 5 years getting after it.
Facts. I love that. Darren has a really good question here. He says, how do you each navigate combos with sellers when wholesaling and the owner won't say their price and asking you what your offer is? Yo, can I answer this first, bro?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of different ways. So number one, you want to get ahead of this objection before it comes out. The what's your offer? What's your price? They won't say the price. You want to get in front of this like within the first 30 seconds of your phone call. At least is what I teach my team, right? So we teach our team to set the expectations. We have a 6-part sales system that we follow. The second step in that sales system is to set the expectations, right? So before you get into asking any personal questions, asking any questions about the price, what they're offering, all that good stuff, you want to set the proper expectations. And what that looks like for us is I'll say, hey, Mike, so my job is to ask you some questions to see if your property qualifies for us to buy it. If the property qualifies, I'm going to run over to my underwriter. He's 2 doors down. I'll go get an offer from him. I'll put all the information from our conversation and I'll go get an offer from him. And when we come back, once I get that offer, if we're a good fit for each other, I'll let you know the next steps. We can move forward. If we're not a good fit, I'll point you in the right direction anyways. Sound good? Perfect. So what that just told him was, right now, I don't have the offer. I'm not the guy who's going to generate the offer for you. I'm just the guy on the phones, right? Number 2, I need to go to somebody else to get this offer. And yeah, they're gonna let me know how much we can actually pay, right? So what happens is if they try to ask you, what's your offer? Well, what I can say is I can always lead back to my expectation that I set and that they agreed to, right? I can say, well, Mike, just remember in the beginning of this call, I told you I don't have an offer yet. I don't know. It's my job to see if your property even qualifies for us. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I like that. Same thing with us. We set the expectations right away. But what I would like to add to that is just keep asking. Like whenever a seller says, "What's your offer?" Here, I'm going to break these two things down. There's complaints and objections. Okay. A lot of people just think that all of them are objections, right? And I'm going to let you guys know the difference. A complaint is something that is just, it doesn't really matter. Like a complaint is like, hey, what's your offer? Hey, what's your company name? Where are you guys located? All these different types of questions that don't really matter. They can honestly be ignored. Like when somebody says, what's your offer? I pretty much just say, yeah, we're going to get you an offer here. So tell me, what was going on with the property? Like I literally just handle it for a very brief second and then just get on to the next question and redirect the conversation and take control back of the conversation. Because when they do one of these complaints, when they say, what's your company name? What's your offer or whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. They're trying, what they're really trying to do is they're trying to gain control back of the conversation. But us as salespeople, we got to be the one that's in control. The person that's in control the most is the one asking the questions. So we got to revert it back to us. We got to be the one back in the driver's seat asking the questions. Okay. So those are complaints. Objections are something that needs to be handled. Like you give an offer and somebody says no to your number and you got to figure out why they're saying no. Maybe it's because the mortgage left on their house is too much, right? You offered them $80,000, but they have $100,000 mortgage left over on the property. That's like an objection, something that absolutely has to be handled, right? Or else you'll never get the deal done. Like, hey, you'll never get the deal done if you give an offer of $80,000 and the leftover on the mortgage is $100,000. Like you're not going to get that deal done. You have to overcome that objection some way, somehow. So ignore complaints, handle objections. Objections are pretty much, I get excited when I have an objection because that means there's a opportunity to solve some sort of problem. Complaints, I'm just like, dude, it is what it is. I don't care. Like, oh yeah, what's your offer? Yeah, I'm going to get you an offer over here. Tell me what's going on with the property. Like just simply ignore it. But to Daryl's point, to be honest, I never really even get complaints because we take care of all that stuff up front. So nobody's ever asking me what my company name is or all these different type of complaints that we get over the phone because I'm doing stuff before that, like building credibility. I'm sounding confident. I'm doing all the things before so that those complaints don't ever even come in. But sometimes they do. And when they do, I simply just ignore them and move and regain control back of the conversation and just ask another open-ended question about something else.
A 1,000%. My bad, bro. Somebody was trying to sell me some solar. My dog was tweaking. I didn't know.
Bro, you should have brought him in.
I should have. But I gave him an objection that he couldn't overcome.
What I want to hear this. How did that conversation just go? Because homeboy did not do a good enough job. Because you were only going.
I could tell he was trying. He was trying, right? So like the first thing he said was he tried to hit me with like an accusations audit. He was like, you probably have a bunch of people reaching out to you, knocking on your door, trying to sell you solar. And like I can tell you, like,
nah, bro, you're like the only one.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, right? And I'm like, nah. I'm like, I really don't answer the door. I'm like, I usually don't answer the door. And he's like, well, who usually answers it? Because my little brother answered the door. He's like, so you just have the little guy answer the door all the time? And I'm like,
all right, he had some human connection. He probably
had some human connection. He was cool. All right. He had some human connection. The introduction was cool, right? He set me up. He pounded it, looked me in my eyes, like it was cool.
Yo, he's good. He's good.
He was good, right? He started off with asking me a question. His confidence wasn't there, right? He was like really hesitant.
Dude, I'm surprised. How do you go for a pound and not have the confidence?
Yeah, like his first, I don't know if he was intimidated or what, but his first question, he was like very hesitant. He was like twiddling his thumbs. He's like, yeah, sorry about this, but probably get a bunch of people come. And it may have been part of his system, his sales system. He's like, you probably get a bunch of people knocking on your door all the time about this. And I'm like, nah, I'm not the owner of the house. And he's like, he started to ask, he tried to overcome it. He's like, well, do you know how much your power bill is? And I'm like, nah, I just pay rent, dude. And he's like, well, when's the owner of the house gonna get back? And I was like, he should probably come back next week. He'll be back next week. And then that was it.
What do you think the chances of him falling up are?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
If he follows up, that's gonna be good.
If he follows up, it'd be good. Yeah, because he really couldn't overcome the objection.
If he follows up, bro, you gotta get Marlon to get some solar.
Yeah, for sure. Going back, I don't know if you answered without the second part that I was gonna say though. When I get a seller who won't give me their price, um, what I'll do, because remember I talked about the underwriter in the beginning, right? I talked about the underwriter in the beginning of the call. I'll say, hey, I got to go talk to my underwriter, get the offer, blah blah blah. So we asked them, what are you looking to walk away with? And first, I asked that question confidently, and I asked them what the expectance of them giving me the answer, right? So I'll just ask them, so how much do you want to sell this thing for, right? How much you want to walk away with in your pocket? And they'll answer the question most of the times. But in the case that they don't, right, and they're just like, well, just give me an offer. I pull that card again, and I'm just the guy on the phones. I'm like, look, man, like again, I'm just the guy on the phones. Pretty soon, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to get a price from my underwriter. Now, if I don't have a price from you, what that's pretty much telling him, and this is just how he operates, but that's telling him that he can offer you whatever you want because you don't really care, right? And we're just kind of swinging in the dark. So if I can, I would like to fight for you. I would like to fight for you. I would like to really help you get as much as you want, as much as you can get on this property. So where do you need to be at to get this done? And I'll just ask them again, right? And now most of the times they'll understand. They'll understand and they'll.
Literally, there's been times where I'll ask like 10 times their price.
Yeah.
If they don't give it to me, then I'll move on to the next thing and then ask again 2 minutes later.
Yep. Just ask again. When in doubt, ask again.
Yeah, I want to answer this question. Hello, Daryll and Mike. What is the most difficult transaction you have handled, and how did you scale through?
I think I'm still going through the most difficult one that I went through.
Most difficult transaction. Every single transaction has some bullshit that comes up.
Yeah.
Like every single one. So I wouldn't say that this is the most difficult one, but I'll tell you guys a story about one. I bought a house. This is probably like 2 hours away from our office in the middle of the hood, probably the worst part of Massachusetts. Like there are fiends running up and down the street. There's like drug dealers running up and down the street. It's the craziest scene where we bought this house. But we locked this thing up for $33,000, which in Massachusetts is unheard of. So I'm like, whatever, let's just buy it. Reason why we had to buy it is because we tried wholesaling it and nobody wanted to buy that house in that area. In my opinion, we didn't do a good enough job on the dispo for that one. I don't think we tried hard enough to dispo it, but we didn't end up dispoing it. So we bought it. We bought this property smack dab in the middle of the hood. Roaches running through this property, all the things. A couple different things happen. It is so I contacted a realtor down the street who had a property listed like the block down the street, pretty much the same exact brownstone type house. Contact her and I'm like, hey, we just bought this house. We want to get rid of it ASAP. Do you know of any investors that would like to buy it? I see you have this property listed right down the street. She's like, oh yeah, I probably would. So she strings us along for like a few days. And then she's like, hey, I don't think I have any buyers for it. Let's just list this thing on the market. So I'm like, all right, whatever. We don't even get to the listing and she ends up finding a buyer for it. So she had a buyer the whole entire time. She just wanted the listing agreement. Anyways, she brings the buyer in. Okay. Buyer says, so this is like a few days after us closing on it. And we didn't switch over the utilities yet. So the electrical and the water and all that type of stuff, we didn't switch that over yet. And it got shut off. So there was no electricity there. because the homeowner that had it before shut theirs off. So no electricity. It's in the middle of the winter. It's probably like January, and it's freaking freezing. It's probably the coldest week of the year. And the buyer that she found said that they were just going to put the utilities in their name because we're going to close on it really quick in like 14 days. And there was no need for us to put the utilities in our name and switch it over. So she ends up saying that she's going to put the utilities in her name. I contact the realtor on a Tuesday. I'm like, hey, did she put the utilities in her name yet? She's like, no, she's going to get to it. Friday comes along, still nothing. And I'm like, dang. By the way, it wasn't that cold yet. I think it was, Friday when I contacted her again. It was supposed to be like -2 degrees on that Saturday, and it was a holiday weekend.
Oh, wow.
So the office to turn on the electricity wasn't open until that next Tuesday. So I was praying that nothing would happen because there was nothing that we could do. There was no way we could turn the electricity on. So fast forward through the weekend, the buyer never turned the freaking electricity on, obviously. Like, I should have just done it my damn self. I shouldn't have banked on them. But anyways, Tuesday comes and I get a text from our seller. Hey, I think you guys have an issue. And she sent a picture of a flood down the street.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, damn. And it's coming right outside of like the corner of the house. And it looks like, if this is the house, like let's just say this is the foundation. Now let's just say this is the foundation and this is the basement. Okay. The leak was coming from the foundation, like pouring outside of the house. So in my mind, bro, I'm like, yo, that means there's like 10 feet of water in the basement. Like the basement's full of water. Everything is shot. We are screwed. By the way, yeah. So I knew that this was going to happen. So it's my fault. Completely my fault. I should have just taken care of it the week before. I learned now to just do things right then and there. But anyways, there's a whole entire flood. We take care of it. Guy goes over there to go check out the pipes. He just said that it's a small leak in the basement. It was just like outside of the house. That's why it was pouring outside. Ended up not being that bad. There was like 4 inches of water in the house. So that was the first headache that we took care of. We had the plumber take care of it. It was only like $1,000. We're still under contract with the buyer, and the buyer goes there to do their final walkthrough. As the buyer is doing their final walkthrough, they meet the firefighters there for the smoke inspection. As they are both there, they both go downstairs in the basement, and they find a crackhead in the basement sleeping.
Oh, man.
So all this is happening, bro. And then, by the way, when they went to go do the final walkthrough, they saw something in the kitchen cut out, so they knew that the pipes would burst. So they were like complaining about everything: the pipes bursting, the crackhead in the basement, and everything like that. So we were sweating this whole entire time. And we did not want this property, bro. And we had a private money lender on it for like only a 6-month term. Ended up being completely fine. We closed on it. We had to do like a $2,000 price reduction, and it was good. But that's not every deal, but every deal has some sort of like thing that comes up like that. Always. There's always something that comes up.
Bro. Always, man. That sounds very eventful, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty crazy. I don't know what I would have done if I found a crackhead living in my house, but that would have been crazy. Ours is pretty not similar. We didn't have anybody living in the house. I did have that one time though. I did have that one time. Shoot, I have a deal right now that I own, and this isn't the craziest one, but we closed on it. The seller was living there with her son. The seller left. The son decided to stay. Mistake that I made. I gave this lady her money and allowed her to stay for a couple weeks, and her son decided to stay for a couple months. So that was an issue. I think he still knows how to get into the house. So I think he's still been living in the house on and off. So like I had my boots on the ground, go there the other day to secure the property and everything like that. Just the other day, he said he was there 2 weeks ago, right? And he said the property, there's nothing looking bad with it. He said last week, he got there and there was stuff thrown around all in the kitchen. There was a cat in the house and there was a shotgun just sitting in the living room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where is this?
It's in Philly.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, it was a little crazy. So I told him call the cops, have the cops walk with him and do all that fun stuff. But the crazy, let me not say that. The most difficult transaction that I had was my very first flip ever. Right, so locked this deal up under contract. It was a sub two deal. So this is a pre foreclosure and a probate deal, right? So it was really tough. So the seller was left the house to his mom from his mom. The mom left the house and all the bills, all the debt that she couldn't pay, and he found out that the house had an auction coming up. So we had to stop the auction and get the property through probate at the same time, right? So there were times where we were like days away from the auction. We had to get on the phone with the bank, and we had to let them know, like, hey, we're working on this. It's not through probate yet. He can't buy it yet, but we're working on this. So we had to stop the auction twice. Twice we stopped the auction just for it to happen, right? So we're going through it. I locked it up originally as a sub two deal, right? It would have been a way better deal if I locked it up sub two. But I was convinced that it would be easier to stop the auction if we converted it to cash. I'm like, all right, cool. Converted it to cash, did the deal, closed on it, wholesaled it to myself, so I got paid up front. And now we started to do the flip, right? And it's my first flip ever. And this is across the country. It's Modesto, California. Now, luckily, I had some partners working with me on the boots on the ground and everything like that, or else this shit would have took way longer than it took. But it took us about like 7 months to finally fix it up and get it back on the market to sell. Now, by that time that happened, the market then flipped. This was at like the end of 2022. Like, well, it started off in the beginning of 2022, and at the end of 2022, the market was totally different, right? So it was originally supposed to be a 6-figure flip. We were supposed to make like 100K on the deal, right? There's a lot of issues with the property, a lot of issues with the renovation, and by the time we finally got ready to put it back on the market and sell it, we sold it, and we paid off our private lenders, we paid off the hard money lender, everything like that. Mike, can you guess how much we made on this deal?
$10.
Pretty close. $341 we made on this deal. Profit, right? Now the reason why it was such a tough deal was because at the beginning, right? We had to stop the auction multiple times. We had to go through probate. We had to do all this back and forth. Like, probate is tough alone to get through to close on a probate deal. And then when you have a probate mixed with the pre-foreclosure, there was a lot. So I learned so much on that deal. And same with you, Mike. I'm sure like on that deal that was most your difficult, you probably learned like a lot of the things that you know now on that deal, on that one deal. There's probably a lot of stuff that you preach that you learned from that one deal. And I know for sure, like for me, there's a lot that I preach from that deal right there.
Don't leave the windows open.
Don't leave the windows open.
Unless a crackhead will be in your basement. You know what's interesting though? When you're going through those moments, I remember going through that and I was like, how are we going to make it through this? Like when I got that text from the seller where I see the flood coming out of the basement, I literally think in my mind that the basement is 10 feet worth of water. And in my mind, I was thinking like, dude, I think this one's it. We're going to be screwed. We're going to lose our shirt on this deal. Like, I don't know if we're going to make it out of this one. But once you make it out of it, you think back to it. It's like, dude, no matter what happens on any transaction, it's just like, it is what it is. Like, charge it to the game, bro. Like, these things are going to happen. Stuff's going to happen. Just keep on pushing forward. The coolest thing is you stack another skill. You stack another thing that you can learn from it. And that's it. They all end up getting done at some point.
Without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt. Yo, I just found the quote to that bamboo story that you were talking about, bro. Because I really liked it so much. I looked it up, and there's like a little meme for it. Mm-hmm. I want to read it. You did a great job explaining it, but this is pretty dope. I think it'll help some people out. So exactly what you're talking about, though. It says, It's said that the Chinese bamboo tree begins as a nut about the size of a walnut. The nut has to be planted in the soil and then watered and fertilized every day for 5 years before it finally breaks through the ground. If at any time the watering or fertilizing process is stopped, the Chinese bamboo tree will die in the ground. But
Damn.
in that fifth year, the Chinese bamboo tree finally breaks through the ground, and in 6 weeks, it grows nearly 90 feet tall. Now, the question is, did it grow 90 feet in 6 weeks or 5 years? The answer is obvious. It took 5 years. 5 years of watering and fertilizing every day to make it happen.
That's a bar, bro. We're going to finish it on that.
Facts. Facts.
It's so true, bro. It's so true. Just if you're listening right now, and you're thinking kind of the same way the guy was thinking in my DMs, yo, just don't stop. I promise you, just do not stop. Do not stop. Just do whatever it takes to just keep pushing forward. And it doesn't have to be like specifically a strategy or something like that, but let's just say you want to do your first couple deals of wholesale, right? It can be direct to agent, it can be direct to seller, it can be anything, but whatever it is, just do not stop trying to get those first couple deals.
Facts.
Because in 5 years, you will be that bamboo tree.
In 5 years, for sure. That's dope. So, y'all, that was episode 59. 59 straight weeks of Wholesale Hard Knocks. If you guys are getting value from this podcast, me and Mike have a lot of big plans for this and a lot of things in motion for this podcast. And as you guys see, we take it pretty seriously. Like Mike was sick in bed all day, didn't even work, didn't even do shit with his team today, really, right? But he came here for Wholesale Hard Knocks to make sure that we provide value to the community. And he said Wholesale Hard Knocks provided value to him, but this guy came out here and gave it all he got. So, guys, if you guys are getting value from this, take a screenshot of your screen, post it on Instagram, tag your friends, tag us, tag everybody, tell them to join Wholesale Hard Knocks because we ain't gonna stop. Just like that bamboo tree, we are growing, fertilizing, watering these seeds every single day, every single week in Wholesale Hard Knocks, and watching 5 years what this thing's gonna look like. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, damn. I remember when they were in different rooms on StreamYard. Now they got an office. Now they got Grant Cardone on here. They got Brad Lee. They got billionaires, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk on the podcast, man. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay locked in with us. We will catch y'all next week, man.
Peace.